Hey YouTube, this is my entry into the Blue Limit Soldiers Top 10 Movies I'm Thankful for video series. I meant to get this out like last week, but I got really busy with assignments, so I've just been watching all the entries as they're posted, and it's amazing to watch them. They're absolutely phenomenal. The level of honesty in these videos is it's really inspiring, and each time I watch one I'm like, I want to get my video out, so today's the day. Before I actually get into the list though, I just want to say a huge thank you to the Blue Limit Soldiers for starting this video series, and I also want to say a huge thank you to Opie0909, or just Opie as he's known throughout the community, I guess. Thank you so much for your shout out. It really meant a lot, and it put a big smile on my face, all those kind words. I didn't know what to do with myself walking around with a big head, so thanks so much. And if you're not subscribed to Opie0909, I highly suggest going over to his channel. He's a great blue tuber. I actually don't think he knows that he's as good as he is. His videos are really cool. He's a real chill guy, and it's just relaxing to sit back on the train and watch his videos. So you should definitely check out his channel. Okay, just a few things before I start my list. These movies are not the best movies in the world. They're just movies that I have great movie memories attached to. Another thing is that I guess you're going to be talking about your memories and feelings attached to the movies. So it's going to be less talking about what the movie was and more about what the movie meant to me. So if you're not into that, maybe check into one of my other videos or check out Opie or the Blue Limit Soldiers, and you'll get some more movie related content there. So yeah, let's get into it. The first movie on my list is Rocky. You can pick any one of these Rocky movies. The first one I ever saw was the sixth movie when I was 14. It was actually my 14th birthday, and we went to the cinema and we saw it, and it was really great. It absolutely, I don't know what it was, but it really spoke to me. At the time, I'd went from primary school to secondary school, and I'd had my best friends since I was 9 years old. I'm still friends with all of them today. But I went to this school that was in a completely separate town, and honestly, I was really hated. I didn't do anything, but I was into reading and different things like that, and I was a bit more quiet. So I got bullied, and people really didn't like me. I don't know what I did, but like different things. Like I remember I was reading my book in my tutorial class, and then I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, that they'd ripped pages out of the book. Or my diary, you had to write your homework into a diary that they provided, and they'd obviously took it and they'd scribbled like kill yourself and all this horrible shit into it. Like they were absolute scum, to be honest, and they kind of chipped away at my personality to the point that I couldn't stand up to them. So that was a very difficult time. Even another time I was on crutches because I'd broken my ankle, and they took my crutches and they threw them in the ditch, so I had to walk around, hop around trying to get my crutches, and was late to class and all this shit. So you were dealing with absolute scum. So when I saw Rocky in the cinema with my friends from the town over, who I would hang out on weekends with, it really inspired me. I saw this guy who was beaten down by the world, and he fought back and he defied the odds. So that's what I decided to do. Through being depressed by getting bullied, I put on a little bit of weight, or it might have even just been puberty, you know how that goes. So I started training loads, and it made me feel better, and I started to lose a bit more weight. Ultimately, until I changed school in third year and went over to where all my friends were, I didn't really start to feel happy until then, but I'd started boxing, I was training all the time in the gym, and I became really fit. And that's a huge part of my life today. I would work out every single day. The only reason I'm not doing it at the moment is because I have tendonitis in my right shoulder, so I can't. So fitness is a huge part of my life, and I honestly think that that's part of, basically, that's owed to the Rocky movies. They did that for me. They kind of gave me the tools to survive. And the only reason I was really able to get through those 3 hard years was because of my childhood friends and these movies. I put on the montages before school and everything, and just stay focused, and they get me through it. So that's what these movies mean to me. They mean a lot. They really crafted who I am. Okay, the next one is 28 Days Later. I don't really know my dad, or I don't get on with him. He's an alcoholic. Like, my parents are divorced. They got, or not divorced, separated. They did that when I was like 7 or 8 or something. I was just, well, to be honest, I was happy when that happened. So one good memory I do have is on the weekends, every third or whatever weekend, I would go to my dad, and to be honest, we didn't get to do much. I do have a few good memories with him, but this is probably the best one. 28 days later, he was so excited, and he was talking to me on the phone that week, and he's like, Dylan, you have to come down. I'm after seeing this movie. It's on Sky Movies. It's amazing. It's a zombie movie. You'll love it. And keep in mind, I'm about 10 years old, I think. And he's like, you have to see this. You have to see this movie. It's amazing. So I get to him on the weekend, and he brings me down to the shops, and we get a load of scoff, like just sweets and crisps, and we go back, and he makes a nice dinner. We eat that, and then we pop on 28 days later, and we're eating our scoff, and it's just a big bonding moment between me and my dad, and I don't have a lot of those. In fact, this movie and Shaun of the Dead are the two movies that I have those good memories of with my dad, and it was so cool. I saw the movie. I loved zombies. I loved the movie. I couldn't believe it. To be a 10-year-old and get to see a movie like this, that was amazing. And then telling all my friends, and just the whole experience of it. And so I'm really grateful for this movie, because without this movie or Shaun of the Dead, I wouldn't have those two memories with my dad, and they're my two best memories, if not my only, ones that get to that level of height, of that level of happiness. So thanks, 28 days later. Next one is Guardians of the Galaxy. In 2014, I went on my first ever J1 to America, where I was on a working visa for 3 months. And I went myself because my friends couldn't go. I had my 21st birthday, and I'd been saving the year before, so the money I got for my 21st birthday as gifts, and what I'd saved, and a little bit from my mum, that basically got me to America. And when my friends weren't able to go, I was like, doesn't matter, I have to do this. So I did it, and it was amazing, to be honest. It was great. I had a job when I went over at Ocean Edge, but I got a second job in Newbury Comics. And oh my god, the Newbury crew, I love you guys and girls so much. You are the best. I'm always thinking about those days when I was working with them, and I'm still in contact with them. But in particular, I'm still in contact with Sarah, and she's a great friend. She sends me over packages. She absolutely spoils me. So she really is a great friend. So we went to go to the drive-in cinema, and I'd never been to one before. And we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. We had to see a double feature, so we had to sit through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm a Turtles fan, but I wasn't really into the first movie. And then Guardians of the Galaxy came on, and it was just amazing. We'd gotten these big, dirty, buttered popcorns. You're able to butter them yourself, and you can't get buttered popcorn in Ireland. I think like one cinema does it in Blanchardstown. Other than that, you can't get it. So I went to town on the popcorn, and it was just the filthiest bucket of popcorn. Great movie, great friend, just, I hold that memory in high regards, and every time I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, it really makes me think of my friend Sarah, and not just my friend Sarah, all of the crew over at Newbury, and I'm hoping to go back to Cape Cod so I can see them. I really, really miss them. They were all fantastic people, some of the nicest bunch you could ever meet. Okay, this one's harder to explain. It's Daylight with Sylvester Stallone. This used to come on every time on the run up to Christmas, maybe in November on the TV. And growing up, I only had 3 channels: RTE 1, 2, and TV3. So this was a great movie. This was standout. Like, compared to what was on those channels, this was incredible. So Daylight had come on, and I could recite it. I loved it. I've seen it every year. And you knew in the run-up, you knew when you were watching Daylight, it was Christmas soon, and it was just cool. It's hard for me to describe what was so good about Daylight, but when I hear this movie, see it, it gives me a warm feeling inside, and oh man, Daylight, it's amazing. Anyway, I'll move on. The Lord of the Rings, and this will include The Hobbit a little bit. I'll talk just after about The Hobbit. But for The Lord of the Rings, I moved around a good bit as a kid. Not loads, but I had a few different houses I lived in, and one of them was in Lullymore, which is the country. It's in the bog. There's nice foresty areas, and there was only one other kid in the area. His name was Kieran, and he lived in the Heritage Centre. And he introduced me to the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. He got it on DVD, and we've been watching video up until this point. So seeing a DVD and seeing a movie like this, it was it was amazing. Like, so we went, and I remember my mom was there, and his family were all just sitting up there in his movie room watching this. And oh my god, it captured my imagination. The same with Kieran, he loved it. Every time I'd visit him, we'd play Lord of the Rings, and then we'd go see the other ones in the cinemas, and I don't know, we'd be in the forest, and we'd have our sticks and be running around, and he'd be Legolas all the time, and I would be Aragorn, and just fighting, and we'd be shouting over to each other about how many orcs we'd killed. And I know that was a Legolas and Gimli thing, but we just do it. And yeah, there was a playground there. We'd be climbing up onto the playground. No one ever went, like, school tours went there, so we had the playground to ourselves. We had the forest and we had the bog, and that was a great environment to act out Lord of the Rings. So these movies really remind me of that. As for The Hobbit, I have a great friend I made in college named Keen. I was actually the best man at his wedding. He's a really nice guy. And we went to see the Hobbit trilogy in the cinema. They were airing them back to back in 3D. And I know the Hobbit movies get a lot of flack, but I really enjoyed seeing them one by one with my friend with a load of popcorn, chilling out. And it was a great big adventure. I loved it because it was such a throwback to Lord of the Rings. And I've read the Hobbit book. Honestly, I read it when I was much older, so I'm not as into it as everyone else is. I do appreciate that it is a classic, but I enjoyed the Hobbit movies, and maybe it's because I wasn't as attached to the book. I understand that it was way drawn out, but it was a really fun kind of movie marathon, I guess. And yeah, I associate it with my friend King. He's a great guy, and I haven't even seen him that much since the wedding because I've been in college. But hopefully we'll get to hang out soon, man, if you're watching this. The next one here is Wolverine Origins. I know people hate this movie, but I love it. I've already talked about my love of Wolverine and comics in some of my other videos. I even have a reaction video to the Logan trailer where I'm nearly crying with happiness. I'll just say one movie memory that I have for this one in particular. Or actually, I'll say two. I'll be very quick though. We had a great day. We went to the beach, and the day was topped off by going home and watching Wolverine Origins with my friend Dylan and my friend Owen. And it was amazing. Skip forward into the future when we're all of us together. I think there's about 16 of us in one house in Wexford, and we're there. Everyone's gone down to the beach, and it's just again me, my friend Owen, and Dylan in the house. We're still drinking our drinks, and I put this scene where Wolverine shouts, "Victor!" You know, he shouts a lot in that movie, but I popped that into the big speakers. So me and my friends are there anticipating it with we're drinking and we're anticipating it. So it comes on, and all three of us at once, we're just like, "Victor!" And we do it about 5 times, and the patio's open, the patio door. So a woman walks up and she just goes, "Lads, I don't know what you're shouting about, but can you just please stop? There's families here trying to enjoy themselves, and all we can hear is you shouting aggressively at each other. It's very off-putting." So we said sorry. We were very sorry. We hadn't realised how loud we were. We were just really caught up in the moment. So we did it one more time. We ran down to the beach, and we did it about 10 more times down there, just shouting Victor. And yeah, I have more movie memories associated to this, but that's just one of them. Sorry, the next movie here is The Avengers. Not only was this movie a great time for comic book fans to see comic book movies, like seeing all these characters come together, that was amazing. I actually saw this movie with my friends in Dublin City on the release night, so like at 12 p.m. or a.m. sorry. I'm really tired today. These assignments have my mind melted. Anyway, the same night that this was coming out was the first ever night run in Ireland. It was the Samson night run, and I participated in it. So I got a lift in with my mum. My mum went in, my friends went in, and we all got a dinner. They went off, I went to my run, and I ran my run. I did a really good time. I was so proud of it actually, and I nearly got sick at the finish line. But when I crossed the finish time, the run wasn't over. I had to sprint from the finish line to the cinema, which is about 20 minutes away, if I wanted to be able to make the movie in time. So I had to get a good time to be able to see Avengers. That was huge motivation. Then I had to actually sprint there. It was lashing rain the whole time. I met my mom. She'd actually bought me a t-shirt. I was so grateful for that. So I was sitting there in a dry t-shirt, but the rest of me was drenched. I loved the Avengers, and my friends came out with us. Like we were all there as one group, like seeing it. So on the way home, my mom and my friends and me were all just talking about the Avengers, and we had a great time. And my mom loves Thor, so just anytime I think of the Avengers, I think of my friends, I think of my mom, and anytime I see Thor, I think of my mom. I always buy her little Thors if I can. Okay, the next one is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, you can pick any movie in this series. I was huge into horror growing up, but these really got me obsessed with horror. Like, before that I was kind of testing myself, and then I noticed I wasn't getting scared anymore. I mean, I got into horror around 10 years old. I was trying to get into it at 9, but it was 10. Then about 14 I see A Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger, and it just I don't know what it was. It just really awoken something in me. I just really loved watching these cheesy stories, but also really cool and eerie stories, depending on which one in the series you're watching. And sorry, I keep coughing. Yeah, Robert Englund is just, he's great as Freddy, and Wes Craven. I became obsessed with Wes Craven. I even did a project in transition year about the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I remember going in, and it was for English class, and he was just like, "Why did you choose A Nightmare on Elm Street? Those movies are terrible." And I was like, "Mate, read my project there. You're about to see why these movies aren't terrible." And I gave a presentation on it, and I don't think I changed his mind, but I was happy. It was a good presentation. I put a lot of work into that. So it just reminds me of that, and it really started something bigger because I'm obsessed with horror. It's my favourite genre. Okay, these movies aren't good, I don't think. At least my friend told me when he rewatched them, but I hold them in very high regard. Me and my friends used to see these movies, but in particular, me and my friend Owen used to get together and we'd watch American Pie Beta House. We watched the others as well, but we were obsessed with Beta House. It's not actually in this collection. I have it on a separate DVD. But yeah, you know, we were about, what, 15 to 17. And he'd come and he'd stay at my house, and we'd have a load of food and just play video games, hang out, make each other laugh, talk, and just watch American Pie. It was always kind of topped off with a raunchy comedy, but American Pie Beta House was our favourite. We could quote that movie just to the end. And yeah, so it really reminds me of my friend. I haven't really watched these movies in ages, like, but I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the movies. Wow, 18 minutes. I have not made a movie or video this long. I hope people are actually still watching. Sorry, it's so long. The last one here is Harry Potter. My mom got me these books for me, and I have dyslexia, so I wasn't able to read very well. So she actually got me the first book when I couldn't read, and then I think by the third book I was able to read, and I went from being one of the worst readers in my class to one of the best. I would read anything I could pick up, and Harry Potter was pretty much the cause of that, and obviously my mom getting those books for me. But the movies, I would go see the movies with my mom, and we loved them, and I'd see them with my friends. We'd rewatch them. This is another series that captured the imagination, so I have millions of memories of me and my friends acting out Harry Potter and just playing Harry Potter, you know, and even the video games, talking about them. We'd read the books, we'd reread them, and we'd race each other. And the movies just really remind me of my mom. She's a great person, and yeah, I obviously I love her, like, and these movies will always remind me of her, and I can't wait to see the new one, The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I could probably talk a bit longer about this, but the movie's coming up. That's what happens when you make a video over 10 minutes. You start to get all screw-brained. The video's coming up to 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop it there. One last honourable mention. The Blair Witch Project. Not going to say why, it's an honourable mention. Okay, thank you if you watched this far. That's amazing that you were watching me talk for 20 minutes. My condolences. Anyway, This video series was a great idea. Thank you, Blue Limit Soldiers. Gonna try and end this exactly at 20. See ya!